guys, it's me, Halloween Dan, and today I'm doing a video that is not dissimilar from ones I've done before. I've done this in the past, many times in fact, but I've never done this particular thing this early into the season. Because today what I'm doing is I'm going up into my attic, I'm bringing down an animatronic, part of my past collection of animatronics, and I'm building and reviewing this particular prop. But why? Why now? Why in July? And why this particular prop? Well, I will explain that to you in a moment. So join me whilst I unbox, build and react to my Costco Animated Phantom from 2021. Join me. My Animated Phantom is one of them props that I've always had a bit of a love-hate relationship with. Which sounds weird, but it's true. And anyone who's been here for any length of time will tell you that this is one of them props that I've always had problems with. So I got him back in 2021, and that year I'd actually had my heart set on a very different prop, and then that fell through. I wasn't going to be able to get him in time for Halloween, and I bought this one instead. Kind of on the rebound, I'm not gonna lie. I was super pleased to get him, really happy. This guy is amazing. He's tall, he's menacing, he's got digi eyes. He is really good. But from day one, I had problems with him. There were some minor things, like every time he moved, there was something that clicked in his shoulder. But as you get older, you learn that that's a common thing in all of us, unfortunately.
Hi there, young people. Nice day today.
So that didn't matter so much. But the biggest issue I had with this guy was that his sensor didn't work. Like, from the day one, it never worked at all. I tried to repair it badly. It didn't work. And so I always had to have him on constant function. Problems aside though, this is a stand-up prop. Literally. It's really tall. Some of you may know it also as the Wailing Phantom, which is also a slightly different prop. That one's crouching a bit lower and holding a lantern. This guy stands tall and doesn't have a lantern, which is sad, but he doesn't. But he's still really impactful, really cool looking, and I enjoyed having him in my haunt. He always looked really good. And last year I was super excited to put him in my haunt because I'd gotten some new lights. I was looking forward to seeing how he looked amongst my other animatronics. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to stop being negative about this prop and I'm going to be positive and I'm going to only view him in the best possible light. And you know what? He looked really good in my haunt for like a day. And then he stopped working altogether, packed in, just broken. I was super disappointed. I didn't know what to do. I tried to get to the bottom of what the problem was. I think I figured it out. It was something to do with where the power jack actually went into the module. And though I did open the module up and I did try my hand at soldering, it didn't go down well. And no, it didn't work. So at last, after a couple of disappointing seasons with this guy and then a third where he completely stopped working, I decided this was the end of it. I couldn't go on any further. This was the day the prop died. And so this year I had a conundrum. Did I use him just as a static? Did I sell him as a broken prop? What would I do with this guy? I really didn't know. But then a hero came along.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
And that hero goes by the name of Sai Han. He's someone I've known through my channel and through Facebook for a few years now, and we have a lot of fun getting to chat about Halloween all year round. We talk constantly with one another, and he's become a really good friend of mine. And he turned around to me only about a week ago or so and said, "Hey, did you ever repair that Animated Phantom guy?" And I was like, "No, I don't know what I'm gonna do with him." And he was like, "Well, if you like, I'll take a look at him, see if I can get him working again." And knowing that Sai had a bit of technical ability about him, technical ability I certainly don't have, I decided to let him have a try and see if he could fix him. And so Sai very kindly drove about 40 minutes from where he lives, came and picked up the necessary pieces for my Phantom. He took him and within an afternoon sent me footage of him working again and repaired. Now, thankfully, it wasn't so obvious a repair. I think anyone would have struggled. I think He definitely didn't. He made it look so easy. And fingers crossed, this guy now should work really, really well. So before I go any further, I just want to thank Si again. Thank you, Si. Thank you so, so much for both taking time out of your schedule, but also for helping me, because you've made mine and my kids' day by fixing this guy. And it's for this reason that I thought, whilst at least part of Tom is downstairs, I will build him, I will review him, I will show how he gets put together, and we'll just bask in the glory of this pretty awesome prop for a moment and relive some of the beauty of past Halloweens. So now I have to go into the attic and get down the rest of this prop. So I finally managed to get the box out of the attic. That was harder than I thought it was going to be. And now I'm going to put this bad boy together. I have to say, just before we do though, even though this isn't really an unboxing because he's been out of the box several times, I do like the artwork on this box. I enjoy it. I think it's one of the first props I ever bought whose box was actually really well detailed and really good, with nice pictures of the prop. It also details the full height, which is 2.2 meters or 7'4". So it's actually quite an impressively tall prop. But now let's move on from talking about the box and let's get this fully out of the box. Okay, so here he is out of the box. As you can see, we've got all the components. This one is actually a pretty straightforward build. There's not a lot of complicated stuff going on here. You've got obviously the base. We've got a bunch of poles that build up to his legs. Then we've got the sort of waist, that's his hip. And there's the main module that was causing me all the issues. These are his shoulders. That is his back, like an arching back. Here's his costume, which is just one great big ghost outfit. And there's his head with his LCD eyes. And as you'll see from his head as well, which is kind of interesting on this guy, it's a full latex head. Most props, if they have latex at all, you'll see like a seam running down here. Lethal Lily has it, where the back's hard plastic and the front is latex. This guy is entirely latex, and it does worry me, I'm not going to lie. That's probably going to be the next thing that goes wrong with him, is that this latex starts to wear away, particularly here around the mouth. But as of yet, that's one thing that this guy hasn't suffered from. We've also got his arms here, which are very cool, almost mummy-like. So now, let's get him built. So somewhat unsurprisingly for this build, we start with the feet. In this case, the base plate. And you'll notice, yes, I'm the guy that leaves the labels on everything. Annoying, isn't it? But I'm old. I need to reference things. So we start with the base plate that's labeled A, and we plug in the poles that say B. The nice thing about almost everything I've ever bought from Costco is it's always easy to click together. It all just literally slots together. So there we've got, as I struggle, it all just slots together. In this case, because this is at the very bottom, you put these bottom struts in, which give the thing strength and support. And then we move on to C. They just click in there. And that's the legs complete. The next thing we need is section E. And section E is the most important part, where the main module is and all the main controls are. This is the motor that sort of makes him lean forward and backwards. So that's the next step. Like with everything else, get it positioned on the poles, like so, and then it just clicks into place. Then we've got the shoulder section, section F, and section F has another motor just here, which this motor is what drives the head moving backwards and forwards. The head kind of does this as he's talking, and that's what does that. It's moving that head backwards and forwards. So pretty cool section. It's also the section that makes the clicking noise. But like I said in the intro, everyone gets old. Like with the previous sections, it just clips on. Now it gets tricky. Now's the part of the build I always dislike the most, which is trying to get the clothing on. Because by this point, obviously, you've got a pretty substantial thing. And I just realised I'd forgotten something. It's this back piece. This piece literally slots into two lugs at the back. Like so. Literally just that, nothing more to it than that. And now it's time to try and get some clothing on this thing. Now the outfit in the case of the animated Phantom is just one great big robe type thing. It is quite difficult. The most difficult part is this hood that goes over the head at the end. But, you know, we'll just concentrate on getting this over the shoulders first of all. Now it's time to try and thread the arms. So we've got a left arm and a right arm. We've got to get them up the sleeves. And anyone who's ever had to force a pool noodle up a sleeve will understand how difficult this is. Once you've managed to get most of the arm through the sleeve, this prong will protrude. It literally fits just on those two little points there with a bit of effort, which is harder to do when you're one-handed. That should just slot on there. Okay, and now it's time for the head. This is probably the most simplistic step because it's literally, again, two prongs fitting into those two recesses at the top. The only thing you have to do is remember to feed the wires. So again, I'm doing this one-handed, so this is really quite difficult, but the head just goes there like so, and then I'll just feed the wires through. Now that basically the build's complete, now is the most important step of all, and that's connecting all the wires. Now, the nice thing about most of the props that come out of Costco is that the wires are always color-coded, so you can't really get it too far wrong. Now, the only wire I haven't connected is this one that would have gone to the motion sensor, but mine broke. I don't have that motion sensor anymore. But if you've got one of these or you've bought one new, you should have a motion sensor that is located in the front. There's a little area where it should Velcro, and it would have a wire with these colored wires attached to it and a little square prongy piece that would attach into that. But clearly I can't use it because mine doesn't exist. So now that he's all wired together, we just need to finish him off. So what we need to do now, we need to get the hood on top of the head, and we need to do up all the Velcro and actually make him look like a terrifying phantom and less like a balding man who's had one too many drinks. And here he finally is, fully together. I tend to spend a lot of time trying to get him looking just right, because the thing about this is it's a big, floaty, phantom-y looking guy, and he's got all these bits of strands of stuff hanging off him to make him look like a big, floaty, phantom-y guy. But then if you want to put him even anywhere slightly outdoors, what tends to happen is all this stuff blows about all over the place, and you'll come back from, you know, a day trip or something, and suddenly he looks like this. This is the most common way I always see him, because the hood, I'm not gonna lie, could fit better. It could be better fitted. It could be better fitted around his face, I always think. And this, though, looks great if it's inside of a house. I will just reiterate that this guy does say for indoor use only, and it's me that chooses to use him outdoors because I think it's a shame to keep him indoors. But I don't know. I just think maybe that was a slight design fault. There's the hole where the motion sensor should be, but isn't because I don't have one anymore. Other than them slight faults, this guy is super menacing. He does look pretty spooky, and it's why we gave him the pretty ordinary sort of name of Tom, because my kids were incredibly terrified of this guy when I first got him out of the box. His costume's pretty neat. It drapes right the way down him. His hands, the detail on the hands are pretty cool. I do like all this detail that they go to all the effort of creating. It does look like a mummified creature. The head sculpt is pretty good. So far, at least, he seems to be holding up pretty well. And I actually really like the look of his face. I think it's pretty spooky. But now comes the moment of truth. Now comes the moment we have all been waiting for. Let's plug this guy in and let's see if he works.
Shadowing you for some time. But now the night is darkening, and the time is right to follow me into the afterworld. It is fine to be afraid, but will do you no good. Your spirit will rest with us forever. For years I have roamed the earth, caught between life and death, a mere shadow, until this night. The spirits of this season are rising up and taking form, better to snatch the souls from our fleeing victims. Misery does love company.
This guy is a really awesome prop, and I shouldn't have such a love-hate relationship with him because I actually really enjoy it. I was really upset when he stopped working last year, and I even carried on putting him into my haunt even though he wasn't working, because he still looks so ominous and spooky even when he's not actually working. So he is an awesome prop, and I'm really grateful to have him, and I'm really grateful to Sai for sparing his time and fixing him for me and doing such a great job. I'm absolutely over the moon that he's working. As you probably heard during the actual demonstration of him, he squeaks. He makes a squeaking noise. He's made it since day one. I think he could do with a bit of WD-40 on him, to be quite honest with you. But actually, generally, he just makes that noise. It's something he's just always done. So, yeah, maybe I should have sent him back in the day. But you know what? Now, I think I quite like this guy, flaws and all. I like him. He's now, you know, I've had him repaired. He's working again. I have one guy to thank for that, and that is you, Sai-Hand. If you're watching this, thank you, a million times thank you. It is very much appreciated. And now I cannot wait for Halloween because I've got some great ideas, and I hope this guy can be part of them. And that's it. He's built. I'm very happy with the results. I'm glad that he's working. He'll look good in my haunt again. I still don't fully know exactly what I'll do with this guy. I'm still very much on the fence about whether to use him in my castle or just as his own standalone thing. I have no idea. But the options at least have come back now, thanks to my good friend Sai. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today as I build this prop, and I will see you in the next one. Keep it spooky. Bye.